All right, so earlier, we talked about elections and we talked about these things called a preference ballot. I just want to define a couple things. Voters are people who are involved in choosing the candidates in an election. The candidates are the choices that are presented on the ballots. So we're used to people being the candidates, but we could be voting for something, like we could be voting for the best candy bar, the best restaurant. A ballot is a medium in which the voters are asked to rank the candidates in order of preference. So for a preference ballot, we are placing and ranking them. Our top choice would be first, our second choice would be second, and then third, and then fourth, and so on, however many choices are on the ballot. So the problem with preference ballots is if there's too many candidates, people will choose their favorite, maybe their second and third favorite, but like if there's 15 candidates, maybe they'll choose the first three and then just randomly place down. So a preference ballot needs to be kind of short. If there's too many choices on it, then it gets a little crazy. These are possible election ballots. So what we're doing is we're just kind of learning what a preference ballot is. So preference ballot, this is a single vote. So one person voted and their top choice was A, their second choice was B, their third choice was C, and their fourth choice was D. And then we've already talked about this in class, but I'm showing it again. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. So that happened 7 times. So there were 7 times in which A was first, B was second, C was third, D was fourth. So I'm going to scroll and we're going to kind of fill out this screen, fill out our preference ballots to make sure everyone understands what's happening. So as you can see, what I've done is I've made little symbols above each one that show the similar ones. So put a star by each one that has A, B, C, then D. We already looked at those. Those are the first 7 that we saw before. Then there's 3 of them that say B, D, C, A. 5 of them that say C, B, D, A. And 1 of them says D, C, B, A. And so this is called the preference schedule. And it shows how many times that a ballot that read A, B, C, D happened. So the A, B, C, D ballot happened 7 times out of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 ballots. So there's 16 ballots. And also, instead of counting all those ballots, I can count 7 plus 3 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 1 is 16. So I would know that there's 16 ballots. So, knowing that, I asked you to come up with what you think would be, or who you think would be the winner of this election. And I'm sure there's going to be different answers. In fact, there should be different answers. Because looking at it right here, there's really no clear winner. Maybe there's a clear winner to you. And that's what I want you to share. I want you to share who you think won this election and why. So you can't just say, oh, well, D won the election. If you tell me D won the election, you need to tell me why D won the election. And then maybe we can see that D won the election or not. So if you could just do that. All right. Okay, here is an example. It says a political convention has 1,500 voting delegates choosing among 3 possible party platforms, liberal, moderate, and conservative. 17% of the delegates prefer L to M, and M to C. That means they prefer L to M. Right, they prefer L to M, and they prefer M to C. So they prefer moderate to conservative. 32% of the delegates like C the most and L the least. C the most, L the least. The rest like M the most and C the least. M is the most, C is the least. When it says to write out the preference schedule, I want you to think of how I would find 17%. And how I would find 32% and what would the rest mean. So I want you to kind of fill that out on your own. All right, the next one is an exploratory question. I'm just asking you to think. If there are 3 candidates in an election, Is there a maximum number of columns a preference schedule can have? All right, if yes, what is that maximum number? Try to work through that. And last, but certainly not least, this is a preference schedule. And it tells me that 14 people voted A as the top, B as the second, C as the third, D as the fourth. 10 people voted C first, then B, then D, then A, and so on. So in this election, if I add all these numbers up, that's 14 plus 10 is 24, plus 8 is 32, plus 4 is 36, 37. So there's 37 total ballots. I want you to tell me who you think won the election and why. Now, I haven't told you how we're counting the ballots. So there should be more than one answer. There should be multiple answers. And I'd like to hear what those are tomorrow. So thank you, and this is your homework tonight, and we'll see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock for our Microsoft Teams meeting. Thanks.